Hello again. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done one of these talking to the camera videos. Life's been pretty chaotic. I went in for an operation. There's been all sorts been going on. Life's just been mad. But I'm back at it now. I'm going to try and get a few of these bass videos done. I'm going to do the grade 2 stuff as well. But this video is kind of a random one. This came via one of my viewers, a guy called Dave. Went onto my Ko-fi, gave me, and just threw some money at me. I was like, what's this for? And he's like, I need this video. And I was like, all right, okay, let me look into it. Turns out it's a Trinity song that I never did. So I found it and made it, which is great. And it's a song called Substitute. It's a Trinity grade 4 piece. Now, this one is available on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link somewhere at the end or in the description or something, so you can actually follow the tab completely as well when you play along to this if you want to. But I thought I'd also just do a little run through, kind of pick out a few key bars where I thought that we might need to look at things, you might need a bit of help with stuff. So hopefully this will help. As always, like, subscribe, do that usual stuff. Go check out my Ko-fi. You can send me your videos of you playing this song and I'll check them for you and kind of help you out if I can. But yes, without further ado, let's get into it. Right, we're not going to talk about much. We're going to get straight in. So yeah, this is Trinity grade 4, right? And straight off the bat, we've got this kind of nice little... Nothing here that you've got to look out for too much. The only thing is the first kind of where you come in with this, that first 5, 7, 5, actually comes in on the and of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. But then after that, it's fairly self-explanatory. The thing I would say about this song is think about your hand positioning here, right? So whenever I teach a song, I'm always telling people to think about staying in one position as best as possible. You're going to be sat in what I call 5th position for a very large part of this song. So 5th position means your first finger's on the 5, which means you're going to use your second finger to play the 6, your third finger to play the 7, and your little finger to play the 8, although I don't think you're going to be using these two. It's basically 5s and 7s. Like that. So try and get your hand in that position. Don't do all this finger sliding around business. Get in this position, 5s with your first finger, 7s with your third finger, right? Now for this whole opening section, and all the way through, we kind of got, it kind of repeats. I'm going by my video, so it'd be from bar 4 all the way through to bar 16. It's just 5s and 7s. And all this, right? The only thing you're going to watch out for is where the crotchets lie, okay? Every now and again there'll be a crotchet or a quarter note, and then you just got to watch out for the 8th notes. Now, I am going to focus in a little bit on bar 14, which I'll ping up on the screen now, because we come down to that 3, and it's the only time in this opening section where you're going to shift positions, right? So bar 13 is... That's bar 14. And there's nothing here that's too difficult. It's just quite fast, so that's the thing to watch out for. But I'm not doing anything in particular. I'm switching to 3rd position for a moment. And then when I go to that 7, coming back to my 3rd finger. Like that. Just something to watch out for. But I don't need to talk about that too much. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Right, bar 17. Now this is the first thing in this song. And the nice thing about this song, there's a lot of repetition. So I can explain a bar and it'll come back up again later. And this is one of those bars. It comes back up again later. So bar 17, again, we're switching positions again. We're forgetting that 5th position. We will come back there in a second. But just for this section, for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 bars, it repeats this thing over and over again. So we've got 0 on the E string, 2 on the D, and then we've got this 3 on the E string with a line coming up with a quarter. Now, if you don't know what that means, that is a string bend. So we're going to take this note and we're gonna bend it. Now, a quarter's a funny one. A quarter's not. It's not as easy to kind of distinguish what this is. If that said half, we'd be taking that 3 till it sounds like a 4. If it was a 1, we'd be taking that 3 till it sounds like a 5. That's a big bend to do on the E string on a bass. But this is a quarter. So what that's implying is just give it a little bit of a bend. There's no you don't need to bend it all the way up to this, up to a 4. Just a little cheeky, right? And in terms of technique, there's nothing really here. I tend to use my middle finger for this, so I go 0, first finger on 2, then I go to that 3, and I'm just going to pull it down just slightly. I kind of anchor my hand here and just twist my hand around like this a little bit. But the hardest part of this is after you've done that little string bend, you've got to jump to the 5th position again, like I said before. And we've got a very quick semi-quaver, 5, 7, 5, on the E string to the A string. Now that has a little H with a little underneath it. That sounded like that text message tone, didn't it? Didn't mean to do that. That's called a hammer-on, if you didn't know. So really quickly, you're going to pick finger pick the 5 on the E string, and you're going to play the 7 if you can, without using this hand, and just by hammering this finger down. Now if this is something you've never done before, it's a technique that takes time. You've got to build up the finger strength, but don't just go, well, I can't get that sounding that good, so I'm going to just ignore it. Instead go, okay, let's make myself do it over and over and over again until I can make that sound right. And eventually you'll build up the finger strength to hammer that finger down. Now hammer-ons are great. You might hate them at first, but they make everything sound better. It makes it smoother, better legato. But also it eventually will make life easier. It's harder than that, and it just sounds better. So make you do it yourself, do it. So bar 17, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Middle finger. Okay, and we do that for 8 bars, right? And if you're struggling with that, as always, slow it down and just do it really slow. Use a metronome if you need to. Honestly, the metronome is your best friend. You just do it over and over again, and then just gradually take that metronome up until you've got it the speed you need. So we hit bar 25. Lots of 5s on the E string. That's nice and easy, just to build up into bar 27. Right, let's skip forward. 27. Nothing here that's too drastic. All quavers or 8th notes, right? But the thing we've got to get right is just getting the timing of the 7s. Now the 5 here, we're playing 5 on the A string. And then we're going up to, which is a D, to 7 on the G string. Now that 7 is also a D. It's like an octave. And this is a really common shape to see. You can do it anywhere. It's always an octave. 2 frets up, 2 strings down. It's one of the best things about the bass and like playing. I just use it whenever I'm ploughing on a note. Just hitting that octave. It's wicked. And this is one of those examples of that. Right. We've just got to count it. So let's count that together. 27 and 28. We're going to go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you've got those octave notes, those 7s, on the and of 4 and the and of 1. There's nothing here complicated. And if you're struggling with that, again, just slow it down and do exactly that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? I don't think I need to explain more. Just slow it down. And actually, even when I was playing this through, I was kind of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I was kind of counting it in my head because sometimes I just lose track of where I was a little bit. I have done a run through of this, by the way. There is a video. I'll try and link that too. Let's move on. I don't think I need to say any more on that. Bar 34 is a funny one. It goes in. We've got a random bar which is half the length. You see, it says 2-4 at the start of that bar. Just basically means that bar is half the length of the other bars, but then it goes straight back to 4-4. Read it as it is, but 34, well, let's go from the beginning of that line. 33, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest. Like that, okay? So bar 35, that 5 on the A string, we hold for 6 beats because you've got a whole note filling bar 35 linked to a half note or a minim in bar 36. So it's 6 beats in total. There's a half a beat rest, and then we're going to go 3 and 4 and. Great. Okay. I hope I'm not going too fast, and I hope I'm covering everything. That then repeats back up to the top again. And in case you haven't seen that before, in bar 35 and 36, we've got that little 1 over the top. That means the first time you play that through, you're going to play those 2 bars, but the second time you play it through, we're going to play 37 and 38, which is kind of the same. So let's go straight to 37 and 38 now. So we've just played that all the way through again. Into 37, we hold that 5 again for 6 beats. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest for 1. We'll go all the way up to 12. And a nice slide down. You see that little slash after the 12? So we hit that 12 and... Okay. Which then leads us straight into My favourite part. It's tricky. This is probably one of the hardest parts of the song. Bar 39. Now, when you're sliding off that 12 in bar 38, there isn't a place it tells you to stop. So basically, it's just like we're going to slide down until we can reach that 5. So I kind of stop that slide around 4 or 5. But I want you to come to bar 39 with your middle finger. Now, I know I talked about playing this in 5th position. This is one of those moments where we're actually going to play it in 4th position. Because we're only numbers we see on this line, 39, 40, 41 and 42, and then it's repeated, are 4s and 5s. So we're going to start with our middle finger on the 5. Now the way I'm doing this is a bit of a weird one. It's not the only way to do this, right? You could use other fingers. I just find that a bit more fiddly. So the way I personally do it, I've got my middle finger on that 5 on the A string, but when I've got the 5 on the D string below it, instead of moving my finger down like this or using a different finger, I'm just kind of rolling my finger back and I'm kind of using this part of my finger to play the 5 on the D string. So we get this. I did it wrong. There you go. So I'm kind of just rolling that finger backwards and forwards, because then I can use my first finger to play those 4s when I need it. So we go 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4. And then we do the same on this string. Same again. And you just slow it down. This is one of those ones where if you're struggling with that technique, slow it right down. It's a great technique to use. It's kind of lazy, to be honest, but it does make things a lot easier. And you can just reduce your hand movements as much as possible. As long as you're getting a clear note, that's the way I would do it. Now, you could play that. No, it just becomes awkward because you're swapping strings. Because obviously in bar 40, we're then using the D and the G string. So if you can, practice that rolling your finger down to play the 5s and then your first finger to play the 4s. That's how I would do it. It's not the only way to do it. I hope that helps, right? Okay, let's move on. And I think then, so then we get to bar 43. That same, and then back to bar 51. And then we've got a gap in 53, 54, 55 and 56. And then we get to 57. Now before, this is where we were going like this. But they've just mixed this up a little bit just to kind of make it more interesting. So you've just got to watch the note values written above. So 57 we've got, let's just go through it. 1, 2, because we start with 2 crotches or 2 quarter notes, then 4 quavers. A rest at the start of 58. 5, rest. 5, 5, 5, 7, 5. Okay, so let's put 57 and 58 together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and rest, and da da ba 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 ba. And then it goes into the same thing as before. 6. No, I think I played too many 5s there. 59 goes 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then 60 is another weird like half bar. Rest at the start. 7 again. Rest. 5, 5. I'm going to hold that for 6, just like we did before. So let's do 57, 58, 59, and 60 together. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and rest. And then that last one is bob, bomb, 60 to 61. So it's 60 is rest, rest, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rest. Like that. Okay? I hope I'm going not too fast and this is actually being helpful. Notice at the end of bar 62 it has DS al Coda. In other words, go back up to the segno, which is that little SE symbol with the line through it, on bar 9, and then we're going to play that all the way through again till we get to bar 26, which is da Coda, which then takes us back down to bar 12, okay? So this whole section here, poco a poco crescendo, basically just going to kind of give this a gradual crescendo right the way till the end of the song, basically. Right, this is the only last bit really we need to talk about. So we get back to 63 where we've got that little Coda symbol, it's a circle with the kind of cross in the middle of it. And we're going to play, instead of playing this D here, or this D here, we're going to play it here. To be honest, you could play it on that 7, and it wouldn't technically be wrong. I don't think they'd mark you down for it, but let's do it as it's written, because we can, and we should. We're going to play right up here on this 12, doesn't matter which finger you're going to use, whatever you're comfortable with, but just watch out for the timing. So if we look at bar 63, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and, right? Because the third 12 in bar 63 is a dotted quarter note or a dotted crotchet. So that is half a beat longer. So that whole bar is 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, then we get to bar 64, we've got a rest. So that first 12 comes on the and of 1, hold 2, and then we've got the and of 2, 3, 4. So altogether 63 and 64, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. I screwed that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. I can't make sense. Then we do it again. 65, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. And then we're going to slide that last note down, which is a minim, a half note, and then do exactly the same rhythm, but on the D here, the 5 on the A string. Keep going. And then we go back into those quavers, or eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. It keeps doing that all the way through to bar 78, where we've got. And we're going to hit that last 5, hold on bar 79, hold it for 6 beats like before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, bam. And just notice on that last 5, we've got that little triangle-y shaped thing, which is an accent. So really emphasise that last 5, if that makes sense. And that's it. I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else. I've probably missed stuff. I try not to make these videos too long, but it's quite hard. How long is this one? 17 minutes. I've done worse. I hope I've kind of gone over everything and I've covered everything in enough detail. Most of this song is actually fairly self-explanatory, I think. It's just the odd moment where you might just want to think about how you're picking things, your hand positions, but generally speaking, it's pretty easy. And the hardest part of this song is the speed. It's quite a fast song. It's 134 beats per minute, and it's quavers, and it's quite quick and repetitive, and goes on and on and on. But it's good fun. It's a really fun song to play, and I'm glad Dave pointed it out to me. And I don't know why this wasn't in my Trinity book, but so yeah. And if there is any other Trinity songs that I haven't done for whatever reason, I now know how to find them. So if you point them out, you go onto my Ko-fi and just point out which ones they are. I'll see that message a bit easier. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that's helpful. Good to be doing this again, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace. I never know how to sign. I forgot what I do to sign. I never do anything good to sign off on these things. I just talk and ramble until I